guys, so just making another quick video. Obviously I've made a couple so far with the gardening side of things, and I was just thinking actually it's one thing I've completely missed out, and that's actually all of my indoor plants. So just in case you're interested, I'm just going to give you a rough idea of the indoor plants I've got, tell you a little bit about them as far as what I know, and yeah, hopefully if you got any of these plants yourselves, let us know in the comments how your plants are getting on, how big they are and everything else, and if there's any issues you're having with them, if they're getting enough sunlight or anything else like that. So we shall show you. So the first video, say that again, the first plant on this video is this rosemary plant. Now obviously this isn't normally an indoor plant, this is easily grown indoors or outdoors. I've got it inside and outside. Just wanted to show you this one in particular. So she's growing fine. She's just used a lot of water because it's quite warm in the house, but it's just quite convenient because I can actually use it for cooking, and actually just makes the house smell really nice. So yeah, one rosemary plant. So next plant I've got, this is what's called a celosia, and I believe it was originally Argentinian. This particular plant, again, I'm not too sure if it can be grown indoors or outdoors. I've kept it indoors. I used to have two of these, and one was inside, one was outside. The one that was outside, unfortunately it died, but it wasn't anything to do with rainwater or sunlight or anything. It basically tipped over in the wind and it wasn't getting any water. I'd been away for over a week at this point, and so it basically withered and died. However, it's called celosia. Apparently it's a generic translation for the description of the way it looks. So basically it looks like it's on fire, and in some way that word translate. So celosia, something to do with fiery flower, and there you go. So I think it looks pretty cool. Obviously got a matching pot to match the flowers, and these are actually quite rigid, so they're not like just, I don't know, normal petals or anything, but the leaves are pretty cool. They've got dark purple patterns on each leaf as well. I don't really prune this as such, but obviously you do get these leaves here that do wither away at the lower parts and stuff, and I just pick them off when they go brown. But yeah, really easy to look after. It's just in a normal compost, and there you go. So next one is, I'm pretty sure you'll all know what this one is, or you'll recognise it. This is an aloe vera plant, which is classed as a succulent, which I believe comes under basically like cactuses and stuff like that. They're all classed as succulents. Pretty much gets its name, or the name succulents, from basically just how much moisture it holds inside it, just like a cactus does. This is classed as a super plant, just basically everything that you can use it for, medicinal reasons and all the rest of it. I just think it looks really cool. Looks kind of menacing, but actually it's not prickly at all. It's really easy to grow indoors. This one I found does not like too much sunlight. I had it outdoors for a couple of days once and it started to go really yellow, so I brought it back in straight away. This one's got a slightly sandy compost mix, and with this one I just water it once the compost has started to just about dry out, and then I re-water it. Just on the side of it, if you might notice, there's a little separate stalk sticking out. That was originally part of this plant. I just wanted to experiment and see if I could propagate from this one plant. So I had it sat in water for about 2 weeks, produced tiny little roots, and then I repotted it. So this will go in a separate pot, but I've just put it in there for now until I get some more space. One Venus flytrap. So I think everybody should have one of these in their houses. I think they're just pretty cool. Relatively easy to look after. The major difference really with this is you can't water it with tap water. It has to be basically pure water, demineralized water. A lot of people say you can get away with rainwater, which is pretty much, well, it's evaporated water, so if needs be, collect rainwater from the outside and then use that. That's what I've been doing. I've not had any issues. I've had this a couple of months now. And it does actually eat flies. it'll have a fly go inside it, and there's tiny little hairs inside, just in there. You just try and, there it goes. So that's it closed, and it's literally just by tickling the hairs on the inside. So this should only really have normally about 1 at 2 at the most flies for the whole plant, and otherwise it will actually hurt it. So, and there you go, aloe vera, not aloe vera, Venus flytrap. So almost onto my favourite plant. This is my second favourite plant, and this is called a giant Yucca or Yucca, not too sure how it's pronounced. And this plant is getting quite tall. Surprisingly, apparently this is actually part of the asparagus family. So yeah, it's a giant asparagus. I think it looks pretty smart. These leaves apparently can go up to about 1 to 1.5 meters long. Very rigid, long, grow all sorts of different directions along the top of this stalk. I've actually got a few, if you can see, tiny little ones already sprouting out from the top of this main trunk. So I'm going to see what they do, and they'll just keep getting greener, hopefully. Question for anyone watching this video, please answer the question in the comments below. Have you got any of these grown yourself? And might sound like a stupid question, but is this part of the same plant, or is this a completely separate trunk? The reason I'm asking is because if it is completely separate, I do want to repot this and have it in its own pot. So I've actually got 2 of these plants growing separately. Probably if it is, it'll give this one another chance to actually grow quicker and bigger just by having its pot all on its own. So that is the giant Yucca or Yucca. So these aren't particularly plants that I'm growing in the house. These I've actually hand-picked myself. I just think they look really good. So these are what are known as fireweed. Yes, well, you could class them as weeds. They are weeds, but they're effectively wildflowers, and they're grown in abundance in Scotland, absolutely everywhere. I just picked loads of these, and I've just got them dotted around the living room in these little vases and over there. And I just think they look pretty cool. Basically, they're called fireweed because when forests and large woodlands burn down through bushfires and so on, these tend to be one of the very first plants that resprout after the woods have all gone, so hence the name. Last but not least, my favourite plant. I would love to have a house big enough to just have hundreds of these growing everywhere, however I don't. So this is a devil's ivy, and currently I'd say this is roughly around 5 foot tall. It started when I first got it. Admittedly, I bought this. It was about 2.5, 3 feet tall. Interesting thing with these is the 2 major different ways you can grow these is you can grow them in baskets so they hang down. A lot of people do that because it looks good. The difference being is when you hang the vines, the leaves at the ends or the tail end are actually the smallest leaves, and the largest leaves are the ones closest to the basket. Naturally, this is a climbing plant, so when you let it climb, as it is now, the leaves at the very top become the largest leaves, and the ones by the pot are the smallest leaves. Another good, interesting thing about this, or clever way that this can grow, is you don't necessarily just need to keep it watered by the pot. If you look really carefully, and see if I can find a good spot, move that leaf out of the way. If you look inside, on the insides of every single stem, basically if this is against a tree, these has roots growing all the way up the stem, and what they do is they quite literally root into the tree for support, and they will just take all the moisture from every part, and so it's getting its moisture from end to end of the plant, and that's speeding up its growth. What I'm intending to do with this, because these can grow up to apparently 8 meters or something like that, which is pretty big and actually is pretty cool. So it's already outgrown its original stake, so I've put this massive bamboo stake in, and this is reaching to the top of my ceiling, and I'm going to see how it goes, probably support it as it goes up and see how tall I can get it. if you've got any one of these plants yourselves, guys, girls, by all means, put some pictures in the comments or just comment below and let me know how you got on. This already has a larger pot than it was originally in, and it's doing really well. So yeah, Devil's Ivy. Okay guys, that's the quick tour of the indoor plants finished. Hope you liked the plants. Quite a bit of an unusual mixture. Nice bit of variety, some large plants, a lot of green and a little bit of colour. And obviously you can't forget the Venus flytrap. Right, let us know what you think of the video and let us know anything about the comments. And don't forget to answer the question about the giant Yucca. Is that one plant or is it two? Can I repot it? Alright, thank you very much. Bye.